Atlantia vivere, Atlantia vincere, Atlantia victor. Today, my friends, I wish to tell you the story of Hanemar and the great golden dragon Iskander Verkeg, so that the old dragons, the legendary dragons Ram or Ra or Rama and his daughters Cassandra, Liliana, Betty, Michaela and his son Valesian Tirkar shall recognize me. There was in the ancient times, and also this story is told in the book of Origin, and it is the beginning of the story of some very small parts of it are told in the Stargate SG-1 season 10 series of movies. I wished to read the book of Origin, but unfortunately I could not find it on the internet, because I wish to see the truth. Because in order to ascend to a higher plane of existence, to 4D, 5D, 7D, 10D and so on, you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you can become better. You need to have faith. You also need to have knowledge. And that is how the Alterans and who believe in logic, and the Ori or the Origin who believe in faith, have split up. But we in the center here in Romania, we are mostly from the Origin path. We believe in the path of suffering. That is why many 4D beings are living with us in 3D, and they are fighting each other, angels and demons. That is why we have only one hospital, Elias, in which we have doctors of all calibers which can replace everything in your body, but in all other hospitals there is nothing. No knives, no needles, nothing. And the doctors are very poor. That is why we have the Waldorf schools, and also a school for super intelligent kids, which are very well regarded. And yes, the Waldorf come from the outside, but the school for intelligent kids was founded by Tsiriak and Nastase, the two stars in tennis, who were number one in the ATP tournament rankings in the 70s, in the 1970s. And in the rest of our schools we have nothing, not even wood in winter times, and gas to make cold a little bit warmer. So, to make the cold a little. So, I will tell you the story of Hanemar. In the ancient times, 7,500 years ago, or maybe 7 million years ago, there was in these parts, in Ardel, in Transylvania, a holy man, about 165 meters high. He was a short man called Hanemar, and he was telling stories. I was him in a past life, and he was telling stories to everyone who wished to hear him. And among his audience there were also the great dragons who took human shape. Among those dragons, the best of them was the most old, was Iskander Verkeg, whose name begins with Iskander, and also some of the smaller, younger dragons. And Hanemar said to them that everything that you imagine in your mind becomes truth. And in order to test him, Iskander Verkeg attracted him or me into a forest and presented to him in his form of a dragon. And then he invited him to a ride. And while he was riding the dragon above the top of the mountains, the Carpathian Mountains in the Făgăraș region, Iskander Verkeg rolled, and Hanemar fell from a height of 2,500 meters to the ground. But he immediately imagined that I have some wings, like the wings of a dragon, coming from my shoulders. And so Hanemar arrived safely and has landed safely on Earth. Then another test came. This time the great golden dragon Ram wished to drown Hanemar, and he torn him and he threw him into a lake. But Hanemar, through the power of his own spirit, raised to the surface, and many people said that he was possessed by the devil, because only people who were possessed by the devil in the ancient times, in the medieval times, that was the test of water, they could rise to the surface of the lake or the river. And then the final test was that the great golden dragon Iskander asked me, or asked Hanemar 3 times, if the law should be applied to all in the same manner, unequivocally. And Hanemar had a family who mistreated him, so the great golden dragon went to that village and killed all of them and burned their village. And Hanemar started a war against his dragon. He was now united with 14 dragons, and his first dragon was Iskander Verkeg. And a great army of men gathered into the mountains. They all were prepared with swords, with knives, with axes, and with bows, with arrows in flames. But Hanemar did not have any of these. He just stood inside a cave in a meditation position, in the lotus position, until his fingernails grew like the fingernails of a dragon woman, and his hair grew until it covered his face. And he did not make sex with any woman, and he did not masturbate. He slowly gathered his key energy above which the key energy rises like a snake on your spinal column, and then arrives on your head, and then projects itself above your 10 gate here, where your spirit comes or goes out when you're dead. So Hanemar had no armor and no dragon skin to dress himself, and in the day of the attack he came forward to attract the dragons, and he yelled like the ancestors in the jungle, and all the dragons came, and they started to throw fireballs and flames and acid and winter grasp at him. But Hanemar simply invoked the name of the other 13 dragons or the other 14 dragons, and he kept his hands like this. And he imagined, or I imagined, that I have an impenetrable shield around me. And all those fireballs knock him down. That is why in Romanian literature it is a story of Hopa Mitica, who falls into his ass and then rises up again. So Hanemar fell into his ass many times because of the impact of the shots, but the shots did not touch his body. And meanwhile, the dragon knights which surrounded the area and came from the mountains started to shoot the dragons with their arrows in flames, and many dragons were killed in that day. But the great golden dragon Iskander Verkeg and his sons and daughters went to the Red Mountain, to Roșia Montana, and then they stay hidden there. And then I went to hunt him down, but all the females, all the dragon females surrounded the great golden dragon with 4 wings and 4 legs, and they did not want me near them. So that is the story. Goodbye. Now you know the